Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino. Just get out of the shower. My hair's still wet. Look, man, we have so much to talk about here. It's frankly incredible. Listen, post market wrap up. Did I say that already? I'm just kind of off right now. What we're seeing, what we're hearing, anyone would be off. So, just in case I didn't say it, this is Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025. We just got the biggest piece of garbage thrown at us. I mean, absolute freaking frank propaganda. And that's this: our illustrious Treasury Secretary, the peddler of U.S. debt. Remember what the job is of a U.S. Treasury Secretary. First of all, you guys can hear me all right? The job of the U.S. Treasury Secretary, in this case, Scott Bessent, is to peddle debt, to peddle U.S. debt to the world. Thank you, Farrell. I appreciate that. Now, he's trying to say that a deal with China is very close in the future. What this was is a bold-faced lie, an attempt to prop up the stock market. And this is what happened today. This is what happened today on the back of this. China is laughing. There is no deal in the works, zero, nothing. This was floated out as a piece of frank propaganda to stop the bleeding in the stock market. That's all. Nothing else. And you guys and girls know exactly what I'm talking about. This is in your face freaking truth. So you saw that already. All right. I mean, look, you can't make this up. What's happening here, the lies, the deceptions, they just don't stop. And they won't stop until someone out here says stop. And that it just isn't going to happen. Unfortunately, the dollar a little bit higher today on a relative strength basis. It's still a dying asset. You know that. All the screaming and carrying on and crying and about we need to lower rates. President Trump here, the whatever it is, it's a thing. It's not a creature. It's an entity. And the lies from his secretary here, Bessent. I mean, come on. This obviously, they spoke about this and they said, how can we do this? How can we stop the bleeding in the stock market? Oh, let's just lie to everybody. And that's what they did. On the back of that, the dollar got a blip higher here. 10-year yield, okay. Debt market is still a time bomb, and we need to talk about that. Crypto, across the board, looking very lovely. This is what happened to gold, silver, and crude oil. All right. Now, with that, let's talk. You and I realize a few things. Let's just set the stage here. We're in a full-blown liquidity crisis around the world. The debt markets, the credit markets are the backbone of the entire global financial system. I think we're all on the same page with this. The fact is, I mean, there's so much to this. How can I put this simply? Even though the world is awash in debt, we know that it's ballooning out of control. There's not enough of it. It's a black hole. You all know this. We've covered it a gazillion times. The fact of the matter is it's drying up very fast. And without every mechanism conceivable, more war, expansion of war, lower rates, weaker dollar, allowing the Fed to issue more of its product, whatever it might be, this whole thing would implode in a nanosecond. A nanosecond. It's the real reason behind President Trump's screaming from rooftops about lower rates here. And again, destroying you and the economy, of course. Small businesses here can't survive in favor of the corporate agenda. I think we're all pretty much on the same page. At least I hope so. You should know all this right now. The fact of the matter is, we are being pushed into what I've been warning about for 10 years, a complete lockup of the system and a reset into a digital system across the board. Now, I did not get a chance to publish this yet. Guys and girls, listen to me, all right? In the description of this video is a link to my newsletter. It's 100% free. I'm going to cover this with you, a full breakdown of what the lockup and reset is going to look like, okay? This is just a rough draft of what I put together with a lot of bullet points. which I don't know if I'm going to keep these bullet points or not, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to cover this with you, and you're going to find this in about an hour or so in your inbox if you subscribe to my newsletter. Now, listen, this newsletter is for you. I don't really, frankly, care. Honestly, it's for you. If you want to subscribe to my newsletter and you guys want to know, guys and girls want to know what's going on, subscribe to the newsletter. If you'd rather just, I don't know, suck your thumb off somewhere and just fly by the seat of your pants, you're free to do that as well. So I'm going to cover that in just a moment, but let's peer through the cracks. What have I been telling you with regard to these cracks in the system? Many people would see them as cracks. They're not cracks, they're windows. You and I see through the cracks. These are windows into what's happening, and they always tell you what they're going to do before they do it. You understand? So the IMF here is warning of a significant risk to global financial stability and lowers its global outlook here. No surprise, no shock. The financial system is on a knife's edge. We're being brought to our knees. The entire world economy is being crushed deliberately by world leaders working with their central banks to allow them to inflate and to own it all, period. The IMF is, again, slashing U.S. growth forecasts. We're not growing anywhere. We're contracting. The entire global economy is contracting at its fastest pace we've ever seen. Again, we haven't seen what we're seeing now since the Great Depression, and I covered this earlier. Dollar, close to a multi-year low versus the euro and the Swiss franc. Okay, all this is lovely and it's fantastic. And we could sit here and talk about the lies, the frank, bold-faced lie here. With no, see, they can lie to us. You know why they can lie to us? Because there's no accountability. Zero. So you can get a guy like Bessent, and he can say whatever he wants, colluding. Obviously, him and Trump spoke about this. This is a frank lie. You know it's a lie. Everybody knows it's a lie, but it did give the market a little lifeline just for a day. It's not going to happen. What's happening here is obviously the system is being taken apart. You know that. The economy, everything, you are paying for all of it. Small businesses going away, period. What it really comes down to, the eventual locking up of the credit markets, forget about the stock market. It has no bearing on reality. Okay, you all know that. It's completely disconnected from any kind of reality. The illusion, they're doing all they can to keep it real, flooding the world with debt, trying to pump the system here, calls for lower rates, which means currency gets destroyed. But what it really comes down to is a lockup of the credit markets, of the debt markets. And this is going to be a life-changing event for the people of the world. Now, you see this poll I'm running? Are you fully prepared for a locking up of the world credit markets? I'm going to tell you right now, no one is ready for this, because I'm going to break this down for you. Word for word, what's going to happen here? Lock up and reset. Liquidity vanishes. It's already drying up, but we're talking about it vanishes. What happens? What's the fallout when the credit markets lock up? The debt market locks up. Here we go. Major banks, institutions, governments obviously stop lending. The flow of cash or credit stops. Transactions end. Panic in the streets. People running out to try to get groceries, but it's all gone. It's all gone. You can't. There's going to be pandemonium in the streets. This is the lockup reset. Okay. Interbank lending freezes, period. Overnight repo markets become stressed and completely shut down. Corporations cannot roll over short-term debt. An instant cash crisis, even for the major corporations here. Credit spreads explode. I'm gonna summarize because this is kind of long here. Defaults begin among zombie corporations who depend on rolling over debt every single day just to survive. Okay. Derivatives, you all know about this, okay? Derivatives unwind, massive derivatives tied to credit default swaps, interest rate swaps, and bond portfolios collapse. Counterparties can't pay. Systemic risk spreads across the globe like wildfire. Margin calls ripple across hedge funds, institutions. Contagion becomes uncontainable. Asset prices plunge. The stock markets around the world in absolute free fall. Real estate freezes, no buyers, no financing, collapse across the board in valuations across the board. Bond markets, first a massive sell-off, and then they go no bid. They go no bid. Unbelievable. Bank runs, of course. People trying to pull out their deposits can't get anything. Banks limit withdrawals. There won't be any cash available. It's just all